Style is a way to say who we are without actually saying a word about it. Every one of us have style within us. It's just a matter of finding that style. Because I read somewhere that fashions can fade, but the style cannot. How we style ourselves help us, to uh, self-express. It's a way to bring out our self expression. It's a way to boost our confidence and self esteem. It's a way, to bring out our cultural identities as well. And it's a way to create creativity and innovation. And, it's also a way for so many industries which are thriving onto fashion and styling. So I read it somewhere a few days back that fashion is something that designers give you 4 times in a year, but style is something that you choose on your own. So, hello everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Renaissance with Swati. And today I have with me Jisha Nenwani Sharma, who's the founder of Style by Vida, and she's using 3D technology and AI to help style us. Hi Jisha, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you for such a sweet introduction on styling itself. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So, Zisha, before coming into styling, you spent 2 decades into the IT industry where you were working on products and you were also heading the product departments and you're working with AI. So, what made you move from the IT industry to the styling industry?
The moment I realized that by doing this, I can bring smiles on millions of faces, because styling is not just about how you look, but it is about taking people on journey of confidence, starting from being comfortable with how do they look, how do they carry
Right,
themselves, and as you rightly pointed
right,
out, that fashion is an art for expression. It's a way to
right,
creatively express
right,
yourself.
right,
And I noticed that many on this earth are so confused about who they are. Either they are carrying forward the identities of their parents, or the role models that they saw
right,
who
right.
they aspired to become. But there's a journey that we go on, self discovery, and I do believe that this is an important part of it. So the
Okay.
moment I saw that people are associating confidence with style, I was immediately interested. And of course, it's a big industry. I
Mm-hmm,
saw that AI and 3D can make a difference, not just by
mm-hmm.
styling people, but there is a huge return rate problem because of which the carbon emissions are high. And also there is an issue of not people not wanting to reuse. Like on an average, a cotton t-shirt is just worn 7 times, and the amount of water it takes is what can feed 4 humans throughout
Right.
their life. So there were some striking numbers there, and I felt that using some creative technology in this creative field of fashion, I can give back to the community.
I can totally relate to a lot of what you said right now because, yes, everybody has its own sense of fashion. Not everyone thinks alike. And yes, we use a few dresses or a few cotton t shirts only few times, 5, 6 times, and then we are on to a new one. Because, like I said, fashion keeps on changing. We keep on changing our wardrobes as well accordingly. So, yes,
Right.
I can understand that waste part of fashion that you just mentioned. So, how are you using technology, your vast and rich experience with technology in boosting the styling industry? And what are the gaps that you found out? And how are you filling in those gaps, little gaps, with what you know from your 20 years of experience in the tech industry?
Sure. So there were three things which were striking to me. One, that while there was just so much available in the industry, and of course, people will say that today there are so many influencers helping you understand what to wear, what not to
Right,
wear. And then women in general over the years, because they've been perceived by their looks more than anything else, they still get naturally. But at the same time, 40% of the 1,000 global shoppers we interviewed, they said that we struggle to make a choice. And 60% of returns in this industry were
mm-hmm.
associated to that. That was
Okay,
one. Then the second
okay,
thing we saw was that this industry was producing over 90 million tons of waste every year, and inventory waste and sampling waste was a major part of it. Then, last but not the least, brands were struggling with huge return rate, as I earlier mentioned as well. Brand
right,
loyalty is a challenge.
right,
And also, if you
right,
see, post COVID, of course, this online shopping became almost
mm-hmm.
like a
Mm-hmm.
norm, right? I think
Right,
many of
right,
us don't even care to go to shopping malls
right,
anymore, at least
right,
not to shop. much.
Right.
So we also saw that the brand experience was missing in the online world. The
Mm.
limitations
Mhm.
were, you could do a brochure based selling, like we're using likes of Shopify or
Right.
SFTC,
Right.
and then also there were not just this, mostly this industry is driven by creative people. So technology hasn't been their focus. So now how did we work on some of these gaps,
Mhm.
which was a part of your question? Also, we created this platform which we called fondly called Vida. Vida stands for
Okay.
life in Spanish.
Okay.
What it does is, first of all, it has a 3D component. So for any brands, who want to leverage the latest and greatest 3D tools for sampling,
Mhm.
what we
Mhm.
do is we help them start sampling in 3D using tools like Flow 3D or Browseware.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
after the products are sampled in 3D, we give them marketing content as well. So they can,
Okay.
from like today, if there is a design in my head, literally within 24 hours, it can go out in the market
Okay.
without manufacturing even a
Okay.
single piece.
Okay.
And then we
Okay.
give a plugin in Shopify wherein you can directly sell using those 3D. So brands have smartly started using this whole
Mhm.
3D from
Mhm.
sample, sell without manufacturing to reduce waste, and not just that, even for inventory management. So what they see is that, okay,
Mhm.
based on certain designs and colors, and we have data driven insights that we
Mhm.
provide to them. They
Right.
know how to manage inventory. Like, say if there is a new color, like say berry blush, and then they put it out there. But if they see that no, still people are hopping onto black and white
Right.
80% more than berry blush, so then they manage their inventory like that. So this is the first piece of work that we started
Mhm.
in.
Mhm.
And the second area, of course, styling, wherein we have a styling book of knowledge, which is curated by all the global knowledge of styling.
Okay.
And
Okay.
what it does is it helps you make a choice in very simple terms. I always say, like, we have grammar check
Right.
in Word documents.
Right.
Similarly, we give something like style check. That is something bare minimum, right? Like, yeah,
Right.
this pattern and this color will
Mhm.
make you look good, and
Mhm.
ultimately you're buying to look good, right? And so for those people, we do give this AI stylist. And
Okay.
then the third bit that we engage in is virtual try-ons.
Mhm.
Like if, say, what you heard from a stylist is not enough, you see it yourself,
Mm.
and that gives an
Mhm.
additional value.
I think that's so much true, I'll just give you a small example. So, when my daughter's first birthday was approaching, and I was, looking at Pinterest and Instagram for inspiration, I used to look at photographs of other babies dressed up in those dresses and their mommies dressed up on those dresses and how they're looking. But if somebody gives me a tool where I can actually visualize myself in that dress, that will make my decision much more easier. I won't have to return those dresses again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, interestingly, shoppers who shopped using our platform, not just this, they also confirmed that when they wore that outfit, they felt more confident, which kind of says, like, aha, we have done it.
Wow.
And also, they experimented new looks after that. They
Okay.
thought that,
Okay.
the whole creativity and fun and fashion came into play with this styling.
I think that is very, very much important because, like you said, after COVID, we're all into online shopping. We go to malls, but we rarely shop. We just do online shopping because we have the luxury of getting 10 items at our home and return five and keep five, right? So we try to experiment, but then we have that creates again a lot of waste, and there's a difficult choice. There's only a limited number of items that we can order, so a limited number of designs or patterns that we can order. So if we get this flexibility of sampling it online, then it will help us choose our what meets our personality, I think, way better. Because what suits my
Totally, totally.
personality is something not with that will suit everyone's personality, right?
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. So right now we work with
Mm-hmm.
D2C brands to ensure that we work on these
Mm-hmm.
problems. But Vida will not stay limited to only fashion. Like we've already started engaging with jewelry brands. Why we strict to industry for initial
Mm-hmm.
couple of months is because to provide affordable AI data plays a huge role. And sticking to an industry ensures that we understand the pain points of those in
Right,
that
right,
industry, build assets which can be reused, which makes the technology affordable for D2C brands. So if you see, we are
right.
clearly on a mission to provide affordable AI to brands who want to grow with technology.
And I can totally understand. And I would just like to add one more point that, if I look at fashion from my eyes, fashion is not only the clothes that I wear, it's all about the jewelry, my shoes, my glasses, my earphones, my bag, my purses, everything includes fashion. So, yes, the scope is very, very huge in this. Yeah,
Yeah, and also as I said, for us, it's about ensuring that we give affordable AI to D2C brands and confidence to our fellow human friends.
that is really
And so that's our
necessary.
mission. Industries is really
Yeah,
adding in.
when a woman just puts, not a woman, I'll just talk about my daughter once again, just giving an example. So, during Janmashtami, I was making her ready to be a Radha, and I just for the first time, she's very little, so for the first time, I put a little lipstick on her lips, and which she was so happy, and it boosted her confidence so much. So, styling boosts our confidence so much, and it immediately gives us that yes, I can do it. I can go onto the stage. I can do anything that I want to do. So yes, it boosts our confidence a lot. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing that you're doing. So talking about, starting your own firm, how difficult or how easy it was rather than working in a corporate.
I would say that if if corporate job is 1% hard, this is 100%. It's that kind of a difference. But I would say in a good way. Because the learning is also, multiplied by the same
Okay.
factor.
Okay.
The thing is, like I think with corporates, it's a luxury job wherein there is a set rule book, you follow it. If you want to exceed expectations, you kind of start playing with your opinion.
Right.
But
Right.
the worst case scenario is also that you follow the rule book and you will do decently well.
Right. Right.
Plunge into a startup world. I know many plunge into this world with this creative idea, and of course, we all do our research and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then make a decision based on your gut than your mind.
Okay. Okay.
Put that readiness, just do it, and that is what I think you really, really need to get that energy in this 100x more challenging world where you learn at the that pace also and grow at that pace also.
Right, exactly. And then have to manage all the risks, all the profits, all the losses, everything by yourself. You're not getting a fixed
Yeah.
salary at the end of the month, right?
I know fixed salary is one thing, right? And I would say that if anyone's looking for that, that this
Hmm.
is not the place because you kind of in the
Hmm.
game of equity and creating that wealth
Right,
for longer
right,
term.
right.
But of course, you should have some goals that, okay,
Hmm.
after this much amount of time, I should get into that state as well.
Hmm.
And of course, you should be in a state of hygiene salary as soon as possible.
Hmm.
But I would say the bigger thing that, kind of wherein my friends and mentors and advisors have been a huge help is how do you assess whether you're doing well or not?
Okay.
Like how in corporates you have those yearly evaluations,
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
know kind of I would say that in a startup now I've started doing it quarterly, and the way I do it is because say you're a founder
Hmm.
and you have a
Hmm.
team,
Right,
you try to
right,
do your best
right,
and you do as well. First, of course, is the balance sheet. It tells you how good you're
right,
doing. Apart
right.
from that, it's always, you want to know that, okay, fine, the other startups who are in this B2B SaaS and services,
Hmm.
how far did they reach in their 1.5 year journey? So for
Right.
things like those, what I've seen is industry is very, very open. Like I have pinned partners and founders of these VCs firms, even if I'm
Hmm.
not raising. They
Hmm.
have been very kind in hopping on a call and sharing their guidance.
Okay,
So
okay.
the industry is very, very supportive. So if I say corporate was 1% and this is 100%, but you have people who are willing to help you and help you understand and share your wisdom more than I had imagined.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. So, Jisha, you were working with Mckinsey, a glorified IT tech. And was it difficult to quit your job?
I I loved Mckinsey and I still love Mckinsey. So from the perspective, like from emotional perspective, the people and relationships that you build, and
Right.
even the work
Right.
I did there. I loved everything about it. So, from that perspective, it was hard, but I was also very sure. So I wasn't, so when I spoke with, I recall like my CIO was the first person Mike Wright to know about
Okay.
it. And then,
Mm-hmm.
David Gatside and Erin Clancy, people who I worked with, like all of them. And then slowly, I spoke with other leaders as well, like locally
Mm-hmm.
Shuchi, Leslie, all these people. Everyone was amazingly supportive. And so, no, it wasn't hard. It was emotionally challenging. I still
Yes.
miss
Yes.
Mckinsey, but
Mm-hmm.
no, I was ready. Rather, I got the needed mentorship from all the people in the firm on how to start.
Right.
And so, yeah,
Right. That's
yeah.
wonderful. Everyone being so supportive in what you want to do. That's really wonderful. And that is how what we
Mm,
need in the leaders above us, right? That they should be helping and supportive to people's goals, people's visions in their lives. So you also said that you are a
mm.
working mom, right? And you also just talked about how difficult or challenging it is to, work on your own firm day in and day out, giving odd hours as well if needed, because you are the owner here, you are the boss here, and you have to make sure that the balance sheets in the end are good enough. So how do you maintain a good work-life balance being a working mom and being an entrepreneur?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the thought has come to my mind that when you give birth to a baby, you get a 6 months maternity leave wherein you leave everything else and just do this.
Right.
Every part of me would want to do that, right? And it's not so much for work-life balance. It's like there is like number of hours that you would spend in front of your laptop or phone, but then
Mm,
all the other hours and your brain is just thinking about your business,
right.
right? So
Right.
there's just so much happens in the head that I say that something, that 6 months or a year kind of maternity leave is needed. And probably that's why,
Right.
a lot of these incubation programs are residency programs. So I understand that, but at the same time, I am a blessed mom and a
Mm-hmm.
blessed wife.
Mm.
And what I feel is that discipline comes to my rescue. I am
Okay.
very disciplined.
Okay. Okay.
Every morning, the time I get up, when am I going for my walk? When am I going for my workout? When am I going to work? It's like literally people can check the watch or see me do that action and be sure that, okay, this is that time of
Right.
the day. So from like 5:30 to 10 p.m., I'm like a super disciplined person. 10 to 10:30 is the only 30 minutes window wherein, I would do something random. I think that's what keeps me going because, of course, you want to do justice to your family, your child. And then I do have a very supportive family. Like, there are
Mm.
days when I really
Right.
have to be out. Like, my husband would step in, or even my son would be like, chill, mama, I will figure this out myself. So I am blessed with
Right.
a very supportive family and a
Nice.
very supportive peer from Satya Didi who takes care of their stuff.
Nice. So, often people say that women are super women and they can do everything. They can do office, they can do family, they can handle children, they can handle everything on their own. But I somehow think that that is overrated, right? We're not super women. We just want to do, we just
I
want to do.
don't want to be a superwoman either. I know I was in that syndrome too sometime back. I want to be a very normal human who works hard,
Right,
who ensures that I'm taking care of my
right,
values and have a growth
right,
mindset, and also having fun at the end of the day.
right, right.
And yeah, so I don't want to be a superwoman either. I every single day I rise with the sun, try to do my best through the day, and doze
Nice.
off like a baby, and that makes me happy.
That's wonderful. So, talking about fun, adding fun every day. So, see, when we are doing something just for a passion, it is fun for us. But when we actually convert that passion into profession, there are a lot of pressures and risks and dependencies and so many things that come as a byproduct of those profession. So, did you ever feel that pressure, or how do you embed fun into your life every day, into your profession and passion every day?
Yeah. I would say in last 1.5 years or so, I have visited the parts of myself that I'd never visited. So yes,
Okay.
I have felt a lot of pressure. As a child or as an adult, anxiety was never my friend. I would always say, curiosity is something that I thrive
Right.
on. And so
Right.
there were times, I would say, I would not say the times, there were these two particular phases
Mm-hmm.
during
Mm-hmm.
this journey in my second year,
Mm-hmm.
wherein April and July
Mm-hmm.
were the 2 months wherein I even felt a lot of nervousness. And but what kept me going was sitting with myself, understanding exactly what am I looking for, and then I did get answers within. So I would say that more than what you achieve outside in the business, the journey within in a startup journey is tremendous. Like in the
Okay.
kind of patience I have achieved, the kind of I would say perseverance was something I was good at, but it
Okay.
only gets better. So I think the journey within is so great, and probably without feeling that pressure you wouldn't transform also.
Right.
So yes,
Right.
I
Right.
feel like a transformed individual already, and I
Nice.
am already of huge respect to everyone who has tried their own venture. I know what
That's
it
fun.
takes and what it means.
Right. That's wonderful. So how do you embed fun into your life? Fun into your profession?
I would say yes, there were times that I became pretty serious while, people would say, oh, with Jisha is guaranteed. But now it's pretty much right. Like we have multiple laughs during the day. If there is a client issue, rather than sweating and blaming this happened, that happened, we are
Yeah.
like, okay, let's just accept. Usually there is a Bollywood song that would creep in my head and I will start singing. Like yesterday itself with our first 3D product, the crash issue has been very, very common. And so I was like joking about it that, it's like tera picha na main chhodunga soriye kind of a thing
That's
that this
one.
crash is not going away. So
Right.
yeah, we joke about our issues, but we don't like I have an amazing team I work with. So we ensure that we kind of catch the bull by its horns and
Mm-hmm.
resolve the problem, but in a very light mode. Like we smile, we giggle, we laugh. I don't think in this entire 2 years journey,
Mm-hmm.
like not two, or in this entire journey, we've ever had an environment wherein any of us is upset or frustrated with each other.
Right.
So we keep the vibe very low, like we keep the energy very high.
Positive. Yeah.
And yeah, so it's more like, कि ठीक है,
Mm-hmm.
challenge hai, let's find a way to
Mm-hmm.
deal with it, that kind of a pressure. Then the
Mm-hmm.
second thing is I don't overcome it. I am more of like deliver what you commit, and I
Okay.
take teams input. We always
Okay.
ensure that whatever, even for the company vision, it's not like my vision being
Mm-hmm.
propagated forward.
Mm-hmm.
It is the vision of the entire SPV team that we are propagating further. So then what happens is when you're living that journey together,
Right.
it automatically becomes fun because all of you are growing together. And then last but not the least, we of course do some pranks. I have been a big prankster, so we continue to do that in-house.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, I think that working on your own startup is like building a baby, or, building a product from scratch, or having a baby from, the birth till, while we are growing them. It's similar to building your own firm or your own venture, right? You have to build each and everything from the scratch, embed fun into it, grow it, mold it, and just own it. You cannot just quit it. Just own it. Just own what you have and be consistent at it, right?
I don't know, I've always stayed very away from this baby analogy. There are two reasons why. One, one is humorous and one is serious. So the serious reason is that I would say startup is a business, right? It's a journey of growing and making more money. Of course, I want to do it in an ethical way.
Hmm.
And so one should be willing to make pivots, change the idea, change the industry, change the
True,
space,
true.
whatever it takes to grow, right?
Mm.
I personally am not the person who would fall in love with the product or the vision and say, I will give a whole decade without any growth numbers. So that's how
True,
that's
true,
different. For
true,
my
true.
child,
Right,
no matter what,
right, right,
Jaden will remain my child and he will mean the world to
right.
me. So that's one reason why I don't say it's my
Hmm.
baby. It is something. And like say, I don't even call my pet my baby because he's my pet. I love him.
Right,
I have a dog
right,
called Oliver.
right,
But child is child, pet is pet, and startup is
right.
startup. I
Agree,
try to keep it
agreed.
like that. And the humorous reason is, in parenting, like I'm parenting Jaden, right? If say Jaden messes up, either it's his fault, either it's my fault, either it's teacher's fault, either it's coach's fault, or
Right,
something like that.
right,
But in that
right,
confusion, he would grow, right?
right.
So there is no black and white on parenting. कि कोई नहीं कह सकता कि did you do the job well or did you not do the job well.
Right,
But in
right.
startup, there is this balance sheet which is telling you every month whether you're doing
That
the job well or not. So I would say that's the other reason
right.
why it's not the same in parenting. You can classify yourself as the most awesome parent forever without anyone judging you.
Right.
But in startup, there is a very clear judgment on whether you were the most awesome founder or not.
Nice. Nice. And the other point that you said, right? That one is that yes, there is no judgment while you are raising a baby, but there are a lot of judgment if you are successful or not. And the other point you said that you're not afraid of changing the stream. You just want to grow and you're not afraid to venture
Yeah.
out into different areas as well. Like you
Yeah.
said, you're not limited only to clothing or only to certain things. You're open.
Yes.
You have open avenues, open perspectives to reach out and grow wherever you want to grow. That's wonderful. And that is
Yes.
something, a vision that every one of us should have, not stick to one thing and always keep on exploring. So,
But at
Jisha,
the same time, I am very focused also. Like I was very clear that I am a believer that it takes 2 years for you to like get started in a new space, understand, hit the road running, and then ensure whether this is the space for you or not.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm,
like for 2 years, I was very clear that I'm not pivoting. I mean,
mm-hmm,
pivoting within the space is fine, because you learn, you pivot almost, you may pivot every week, that's fine, but keeping the meta area the same. But like it's more like, and then very focused, like I'm a very like literally horse focused kind of a person. But
mm-hmm,
then yes, assess at the right stage. Like when I complete my 2 years, I have already started talking to mentors, advisors, and ensuring that yeah, I assess my startup and I assess my venture, I assess our
mm-hmm,
growth. And
mm-hmm.
then after when it's the right length of time and the right learnings have happened, be open to adapt. Like keep the ego, keep what people will say aside, and just learn from the experience and move to a space. So it's like that kind of
I
exploration,
think that is
I
good
believe in.
also. Yeah, because you have to learn from whatever you are doing and
Mhm.
you have to be innovative and creative to explore and advance and to grow your business, even although in the same area, but how to grow it further. And yes, people's opinion, people will always say what they have to say, right? It's their work to
Yeah.
say what they want to say. If you if you
But
just listen to
I believe in experts' opinion a lot. So what I do is like say for example, if it's like a thing related to finance, how am I doing
mm-hmm,
financially?
mm-hmm,
I would go to three financial experts and talk to them. Then if
nice,
say just to do with vision, product vision, I would go to say five brands and 100 shoppers and understand
nice,
what the brand vision is.
nice.
So it's like I don't say that people's opinion matter to learn, but then what I do is after all of this, it's like more so I listen to my gut and take the action basis that. But I'm a huge believer of talking to experts, users, and the actual people living it day to day before making any
Exactly,
decisions.
exactly. Because all the stakeholders involved, all the people involved, it's very much important. Like you said, financial advisors and mentors, they're very, very
Yeah.
important to understand because we have a limited vision, we have a limited set of lenses that we look at the world from. But when we listen to experts' opinions, that is when we broaden our horizons and we get to know, yes, this is also possible. Otherwise, always be only in a small little zone. So talking to the experts give us that flexibility of viewing world from different lenses. So that's true.
Yes.
That I understand. So Jisha, any key takeaway that you would want to tell everyone out there who want to venture out on something of their own?
I would say that if there is something that you've been really wanting to try, there is only one life. Time is now. But what you should do is just be prepared, Like, for example, when you're having a baby, right? We're talking about having a baby. You know what are the steps to be taken. You get a 6 months maternity leave to figure it out, and then
Mhm.
things become
Mhm.
normal. You understand how it
Mhm.
works. So
Mhm.
it's important to prepare for it if you're someone with responsibilities, ensure that the financials are sorted. Then what not to do? Don't run for getting a salary, at least for initial couple of months. Be clear what couple of months you can have a runway,
Mhm.
because then you will
Mhm.
end up making wrong decisions. And
Right.
I know
Right.
many of my friends were almost like, instead of working for a corporate, now they're working for a VC. Then it doesn't change anything for you. So give
Okay.
yourself the time and freedom to fly and learn. And last but not the least, be very open to what you're learning and pivot. And then sky's the limit. I have seen myself like the potential each one of us has to grow, and
Mhm.
the opportunities that there are in the industry. It's just limitless. It's about finding your own space and wanting to fly. Once you start that, there is no looking back.
Wanting to fly, right. But then, people are afraid to take that first step. So any advice for people who have ideas in their mind, but still they're not ready to take that first step? Any advice for people?
So I would say we should definitely work towards three areas. One, competitors. Is this idea really new, unique? Have others done it? If yes, how has their experience been? Do you think you have a competitive advantage? Do you think you will do it differently, or it's very new and all of that? So getting into
Mm-hmm.
the detail of that one. And number two, I think it's very important. At the end of the day, it's business, right? It's very important that you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand who will pay for it. Your business model is key. So figure out your business model. And then last but not the least, figure out that one small step which will take you closer to clarity. Like, say, for example, for a certain product, like you did the
Mm-hmm.
first thing, and then you said that, okay, understanding, like, say, for this podcast itself, right? Like, say, understanding my podcast is new, and I am sure it's new, and this is my niche. Like, my niche would be, say, I
Right.
speak with women entrepreneurs from our
Mm-hmm.
country who have a
Mm-hmm.
child, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Then the
Mm-hmm.
first baby step is have that one podcast, do it. And
Mm-hmm.
when you do it, you will learn from it. So, do those mini experiments to
Right.
get
Right.
clarity. Because what I've seen is sometimes, you're not clear and you are quitting your job because you're frustrated by your job or you're frustrated with something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much so the passion for doing what you're doing. It's more about, something else which is making you feel that the grass is greener on this side.
Right.
So it's
Right.
very
Right.
important that you have to be clear that that grass is green only in resorts. Let's be clear. So it's like it's just different types of challenges, but yes, of
Right.
course, high risk, high return is always the case. So be very clear that it's
Mm-hmm.
not grass is greener on the other side. But it's like, no, this is my calling, this is my passion, and this is where I can make money also. So do everything that is needed to be sure in that area and then take the plunge. And I would just want to wrap by saying that quitting your job is the easiest decision to make in the startup journey. So think and plan and ask your gut before you do that. Be very clear.
Okay. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful advice, that quitting a job is easier because the steps that you have to take after that are not going to be that easy. So if you are just doing something just because you don't like your job and you want to start something new just because you want to quit your job, then don't go for it. Go for it if you are feeling it from inside. If you have that gut feeling that yes, definitely I want to do this and I can put anything and everything onto this. And even in the middle of the night, if somebody wakes up and asks me that, are you happy? I'll say yes. Only then plunge into that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
I would say personally, are you happy may not be the right measure on the day, on all the days, but the measure is this what you want to do?
Yes.
Is the right question that you
Yes.
should be asking. If you continue to feel that way, then yes, just continue the journey.
Yes. Because that will tell you that yes, you are on the right path. Because there will
Exactly,
be days when
exactly.
there are ups and downs, but then that's a part of life,
Of
right?
course, of course,
Right.
of Of course,
That's
yes.
wonderful. That's wonderful. Thanks a lot, Jisha, for giving me your beautiful time and sharing your journey with me. I'm sure many of the people would be impressed and would be motivated to start their own ventures, and they can know that, when to quit, when not to quit, and how to create their own startups, how to do what they want to do, how to create their passions into professions. Thank you so much, Jisha. Thank you.
Thank you for this wonderful chat, Swati. You have a
Bye.
wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
You too.